Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andrew Rowe. I'm a cloud security engineer working in more of a cloud engineering capacity in Boulder, Colorado currently. A theme that I'm seeing consistently online and one that I've kind of been pulled into myself is, kind of the great debate in cybersecurity is, do you have to be technical or not to get a job in this field? Now, technical can mean a variety of different things, but for the sake of this video and my kind of argument against it or for it is going to be, do you know how to code in some sort of capacity? Whether that's, Python, Bash, anything like that. Do you know how to code or how to use code, at the very least read code, to do your job well? Now, I'm not saying that you need to be able to build full-scale applications, but what I am saying for the sake of my argument and for the sake of this video is you have to be able to, use APIs, automate things, use query languages, things along those lines, basic technologies that you would see in more of an engineering capacity. So with that out of the way, I hope I can answer for you guys in this video the age-old question of, do you need to be technical to get a job in cybersecurity? So I think the best way that I can answer this question is to tell an anecdote from my own personal career. It's just kind of, how I relate to things and how I relate things to you guys, the viewers. So when I first started in my professional career in technology, I had to wear many hats. I was at a really, really small startup. I had to, build the application, secure the application, host the application, scale the application, go into meetings, and talk about the application, sell the application, all of those kinds of things. It was an extremely small startup, and I kind of want to just give you guys a base of, where my background comes from. With that being said, when I first got a job as a security engineer, when I moved out here to Colorado and I kind of specialized in one specific thing, that being security engineering, I was really astonished to see, some of my peers that had no idea how to not only write code, but read it. However, as I progressed in the organization, I kind of realized how niche my role specifically was in terms of how other people in the cybersecurity community, looked at their roles. My role was more of a DevSecOps engineer where I was on the security side, but I kind of had to, commingle with DevOps and create a lot of automation opportunities in a secure manner, so to speak. Now, for those of you that don't know, DevSecOps is, a very agile, progressive methodology where DevOps and security engineering and even cybersecurity, the cybersecurity team in general, kind of commingle to produce a lot of secure testing, patching, automating in more of a conjoined team effort, as opposed to DevOps doing their thing, security engineering doing their thing. So a lot of my responsibilities during the day-to-day were taking secure AMIs, testing them. If they had, some sort of vulnerability, I would have to write extra code in a Docker file to create a new container, and kind of shipping that upstream towards DevOps. So it was very much, a part of the actual workflow of DevOps and how we actually got our containers and in turn our application hosted in the cloud. However, in order for me to do my job successfully, I had to, interact a lot with, a project manager on the security team and a CISO. So those roles are not necessarily known as being technical roles, although they really enabled me to do my job and enabled DevOps to do their job, thus kind of completing that DevSecOps flow. So while you might not think of these specific roles as writing code, which they're not ever really writing code, they probably don't even know how to read code. Those roles really enable us as technical security-minded people to do our job. So on a day-to-day, my security project manager would meet with stakeholders internally, meaning they would meet with the software engineering team, they would meet with the data engineering team, they would meet with the data science team. I know those are two different things, they sound like the same thing, I promise they're not. But the role of the CISO and the security project manager, and I think it goes across the organization, they weren't technical jobs at all, by any means. But what they did was they enabled me to do my job in a very compliant manner. And what I mean by that is the CISO would set forth, a policy that I would have to abide by. The project manager, based on my weekly sprints, would make sure that I was, in line with that policy and in line with what we were trying to accomplish during the sprint. And he would also help me coordinate between, different internal stakeholders or internal customers, as some of these progressive tech companies call it. But all that really means is my project manager really helped me cross-team collaborate. So if I needed an engineer from software engineering because I was doing something, I could get that. My project manager would do it for me. And he would do it under the guise of, hey, this is the exact ask that my security engineering team has. Can you fulfill this? And if you can't, can you point me in the direction of someone that can? So as you see, while they're not directly writing code and they're not directly technical, they're performing and providing a lot of value because I'm essentially allowed to do my job because they're really good at their job. They set up all the requirements, they set up, the overarching policy, they set up all of these things in order for me to have, a lot of laser focus into what I'm actually trying to do on my day-to-day. So, I tell you guys this little anecdote because I really get that question a lot where, and I know I'm a small YouTuber, I understand that, but I really get that question a lot where there's almost not a lot of respect, and I've been guilty of it in the past, where there's not a lot of respect for non-technical people in cybersecurity. But I offer that to you as, maybe you're someone that isn't technical, but you really love the field of cybersecurity. You really love, vulnerability analysis on a high level, not, putting vulnerabilities in the sandbox, testing them with code or anything like that. I'm saying you really love vulnerabilities at a high level and you really want to be able to, convey those vulnerabilities to stakeholders or to C-level managers or to a project manager or something like that. A CISO might be a great role for you, right? That's not a technical role by definition. You could make it a technical role, but that's a really, really valuable role to a cybersecurity team, specifically security engineering. And on the other side, you have security project managers or just project managers in general. They know how to, seamlessly collaborate on work. They know how to structure work so you're not overwhelmed. And they know what kind of projects, coexist with other projects that other teams might be doing. So while these aren't technical roles in cybersecurity, they're insanely useful roles to have on a team in cybersecurity. And a lot of times you'll see a lot of project managers and CISOs be incredible subject matter experts or SMEs. I'll help you guys get that definition right out of the way because if you join a big tech company, you're going to hear that a lot. And if you're someone like me, I didn't know what that meant for the first 6 months and I didn't Google it and I don't know why. So as you can see, I really do have a lot of respect for non-technical professionals in cybersecurity. They help, set out guidelines for the work that I want to do, the technical work that I enjoy doing. They help, collaborate with other teams and set up work, which is, believe it or not, a huge undertaking in a big tech company. And they make my job a lot easier where I can really focus on, the stuff that I want to focus on, which is building really cool stuff in the cloud, using automation, using code, things like that. So to answer the question bluntly, I know I kind of did it in a roundabout way, but I hope you guys understand why I did that. To answer the question bluntly, no, you don't have to be technical to be in cybersecurity. There's a lot of ways that you can add value as a non-technical subject matter expert in cybersecurity today. So if you want to go down that path, I really implore you to do so. And as always, if you're not a technical person in any sort of field, there's going to be some sort of friction when you try to talk about technical subjects. So just know that at the outset, that's always going to be a thing. I always like to think about it this way. If you go to a mechanic and you try to tell the mechanic how to change oil and you don't really know how to change oil and he changes oil every day, there's obviously going to be some friction there. There's nothing to be worried about. That's pretty normal. Now, I'm not saying that you can get into cybersecurity and automatically become a CISO, as most of those roles come from analyst roles or manager roles. But what I am saying is it's possible, right? You could be a project manager coming from industrial engineering and you can get into technology because the processes and the way that you create lean processes are kind of similar. Now, if you guys would like to see me, create a video on these non-technical and technical kind of specializations in cybersecurity, definitely leave a comment down below and let me know. I'd be happy to make that video. I really hope that this video helped explain and helped you guys understand both technical and non-technical roles and their use cases in cybersecurity. And I'd really implore you guys, my advice to you guys would be to, research and do your own kind of thinking on what kind of role would be best for you. I don't offer a role over another. I'm a technical security engineer. I like automating in the cloud. I like writing code every day. I like solving problems. But you might be someone that, likes talking to stakeholders, likes talking to coworkers and collaborating in that manner. So definitely do some research on the role that might be fit best for you. And as always, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, and I'll see you guys in the next one.